Everything begins with imagination. Before any event unfolds in the outer world, it must first be born in the unseen realm of consciousness. There is no power outside of your awareness. What you assume to be true in the deep stillness of your being hardens into fact. The lottery, the numbers, the millions, they are not random. They are responses. They are shadows of the inner movement of your own consciousness. To manifest the Mega Millions jackpot, you must begin not with effort, but with knowing. You do not beg, plead, or wish. You assume that you are already the winner. You assume that the numbers have aligned in your favor. You assume that your name is now whispered in rooms of celebration and awe. You assume the feeling of wealth, security, and overflowing abundance, not as something to come, but as something that already is. Close your eyes and withdraw from the clamor of the senses. Let the outer world fade into silence. Feel the weight of the check in your hand. Feel the cool air-conditioned office where they announce the winner. See the congratulations, hear the applause, feel the inner thrill of knowing it is you. Smell the ink on the freshly printed document. See the string of winning numbers, and know they are yours. Dwell in that scene. Do not touch it with effort or strain. Simply rest in it. Relax into its truth. You are not trying to change the world. You are changing your concept of self. You are not a seeker. You are the one who has found. You are not trying to become rich. You are rich. There is a vast difference between effort and assumption. Effort implies separation. Assumption knows union. The prize is not distant. It is you. You are the embodiment of the miracle you seek. Your awareness of being the winner is the only cause. The numbers are not the secret. The odds are not the barrier. The beliefs of others are not your concern. There is no competition in the infinite. What you accept as true in imagination becomes your experience in time. The only question is, can you believe it? Can you believe against all appearances that you already possess it? Can you walk through the world with the quiet dignity of the one who already knows? Each day, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let your conversations reflect your new identity. Do not speak as one who hopes, but as one who has received. If you would not speak of worry, do not dwell in it now. If you would not fear bills or expenses with 100 million in the bank, then fear them no longer. You must live now as the one who has already won, not outwardly in spending, but inwardly in consciousness. Let your reactions, your self-talk, your inner commentary be born from wealth. This is not fantasy. This is creation. Creation is finished. All states exist now. There is a version of you that has already won. There is a version of you celebrating, donating, building, blessing, living without limit. The only task is to occupy that state, to inhabit it so fully that it becomes your dwelling place. When you fall asleep, do not lay down as one in lack, but as one in triumph. Drift into sleep from the mansion of fulfilled desire. Hear the laughter of those who rejoice with you. Feel the abundance in your veins. Your senses will cry out that it is not yet real. Let them cry. They are not the truth. They reflect the past. Your imagination creates the future. Your inner acceptance creates the outer confirmation. When you stand unmoved in the state of the wish fulfilled, the world bends to reflect your assumption. You are not convincing the universe. There is no external force to persuade. You are convincing yourself. And when you do, the universe obeys. Your inner movement brings about outer miracles. Think not of how or when. Those are not your concern. Live in the end. Live in the joy. Live in the certainty that what you feel deeply and consistently within must take shape. Without. Imagine what you would do. Imagine who you would bless. Imagine the lifestyle, the freedom, the generosity, the legacy, and then go beyond imagining it. As someday, feel it as now. Feel it as yours. Let every breath carry the silent decree. I have won, it is done. I am that. And if doubts come, and they will, do not resist them. Simply return to the state. Return to the scene. Return to the inner knowing. The outer world is a delayed reflection. Persist in the unseen, and the seen must follow. Let the world say what it will. Let logic and reason argue against you. Let statistics and probability scream their defiance. Your assumption does not need permission. Your assumption is law. Walk through this world as the one who already holds the ticket. Let your posture change. Let your tone shift. Let your energy speak before your words. The power is not in the numbers. The power is not in the drawing. The power is in the consciousness that commands them. You are not hoping to win. You are remembering that you already have. You are not reaching for wealth. You are awakening to it. The prize is not outside of you. It is the reflection of who you have dared to become within. And when it comes, and it shall come as surely as night turns to morning, do not be surprised. Simply smile, knowing you moved the unseen and the seen obeyed. The world is your mirror, and you are the cause. Every time you return to the state, you draw nearer, not because something is traveling toward you, but because your awareness is aligning with that version of yourself where it is already so. You are not building the bridge, you are discovering that it was always there. You walk across it within a conviction. The world reshuffles itself, not by effort, not by toil, but by inner selection. You selected the end, and the means bend themselves to your will. Do not confuse persistence with strain. There is no struggle in the assumption that you are already the one you desire to be. There is only rest, only quiet knowing. Let the assumption become your resting place. It is not something to force, but something to return to gently, again and again, until it becomes your natural dwelling. Like a well-worn path in the mind, the more you walk it, the more real it becomes, until the boundary between the imagined and the actual dissolves completely, and what you once assumed becomes the world you walk in. Speak in alignment with the state. Let no word fall from your lips that denies what you have claimed within. If you have won, would you fear tomorrow? Would you complain of what is missing? Would you stress over the unseen? No. You would rest in the joy of it. You would live from a new posture. So speak as the one who knows. Let your language reflect your inner wealth, not in arrogance but in calm assurance. You owe no explanation for the quiet certainty that dwells in your soul. To others, it may seem foolish. To some, even delusional, but you are not manifesting for their belief. You are manifesting from yours. You are planting seeds in the unseen and tending to them not with doubt, but with expectation. The harvest is certain. It is the law. Whatever you accept as true becomes flesh. So accept with finality. Accept without apology. Accept with the confidence of one who knows they cannot be denied. When you sit alone and close your eyes, do not beg for a miracle. Become the miracle. Envision the numbers on the screen, matching those you already hold in your heart. Feel the rush, not of disbelief, but of confirmation. Let it wash over you again and again. Feel the conversations that follow, the impact you'll make, the dreams you'll fulfill. Let them live inside you now. This is not fantasy. This is the true creative act. This is the divine power that shaped all things, now flowing through your consciousness. Do not wait for permission. The only gatekeeper is your own belief. Do not wait for signs. You are the sign. The moment you fully accept your new identity, the world must conform. It has no choice. It is compelled by your state of being. When you change the root, the fruit must follow. When you change your concept of self, your circumstances realign themselves. Many speak of chance, of luck, of fortune. But these are only words used by those who do not yet understand. There is no chance, only assumption. What you are conscious of being is what you attract. And not just attract, it is what you become. You are not pulling something toward you from the outside. You are awakening to what already exists within. You are not playing a game of probability. You are stepping into certainty. The moment you truly occupy the state of the winner, the game is already done. It may take time to outpicture, but it is already sealed in consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality. All else is smoke and shadow. The world may delay, but it cannot deny. Let your imagination be your most sacred tool. It is the workshop of creation. Use it not to escape the world, but to remake it. Each time you imagine the scene vividly, each time you feel the reality of the wish fulfilled, you press your claim more deeply into the subconscious. In the subconscious, being without question or hesitation brings it to pass. It always says yes. Your job is only to impress, to imagine, to assume. How would you rise in the morning if you were the jackpot winner? Would you worry about what the day holds? Or would you move with a peaceful dominion? How would you walk into the grocery store? How would you respond to delays, to unexpected events? Practice that feeling now. Wear it like a garment, not to trick the world, but to mold your inner world until the outer must yield. There is no outer event that holds dominion over you. No economy, no statistic, no rule of man. You move from a higher place, you speak from the throne of consciousness. The only law that governs your experience is the law of assumption. What you persist in imagining becomes your world. If the voice of doubt arises, do not suppress it. Transcend it. Speak to it with authority. That may have been my past, but it is not my truth. Each time you reaffirm the new state, you weaken the hold of the old. The old self may rise and argue, but its voice has no power unless you agree with it. Withdraw your consent, withdraw your attention, and redirect it. Gently, persistently, to the state you choose. It does not matter how long it takes. Time is the servant of belief. You do not rush the harvest by digging up the seed. You nurture it. You water it, you give thanks in advance for the crop already growing, though it has not yet broken through the soil. Faith is knowing that what you've imagined must come to pass. It cannot fail unless you forsake it. Let your inner conversations reflect the new state. Let them be filled with gratitude, confidence, clarity. Hear others congratulating you. Hear them saying, I always knew you had it in you. Hear your own voice saying, of course, it was inevitable. Not with pride, but with understanding. The one who knows the law is never surprised by its fulfillment. You may be tempted to look for signs. You may watch the news, check the ticket, count the days. But you are not dependent on those. They are the echo, not the cause. The cause is within. When you feel the joy now, when you rest in the fulfillment now, the outer has no choice but to mirror that state. It must. The law cannot fail. If you were to never speak of it to another soul, but simply assume it daily in silence, in stillness, in the privacy of your own mind, it would still come to pass. Because the law does not require witnesses. It requires only faith. Faith not in effort, but in being. You do not earn the prize. You become the one who already holds it. And the becoming is an act of imagination. The moment you say, I am, you set the wheels in motion. Say, I am the winner. Say, I am blessed beyond measure. Say, I am the proof of the miraculous. Say it not with your lips alone, but with your heart, with your emotions, with the whole of your being, and return to it, over and over, until no voice within argues against it, until it feels as natural as breathing. Then and only then will the world reflect it. When others doubt, remain still. When the outer seems unchanged, remain faithful. You are the only operant power. The world rearranges itself for the one who knows who they are. And who are you? You are the winner. You are the one they will speak of. You are the fulfilled prophecy. You are the proof that assumption becomes reality. Carry yourself accordingly. In your silence, in your routine, in your inner speech, let the truth echo. I have already won. I am already chosen. I am already in possession. There is no need to grasp, only to rest in the knowing. For what is truly accepted within must show itself without, and when it does, it will come in such a way that you will say, of course, it could not have been otherwise. You are never waiting on the world. You are only waiting on the full acceptance of your own identity. And once that acceptance is complete, the world must yield. The path will open. The ticket will be yours. The winning numbers will match. And it will feel not like a surprise, but like a return. A return to what you have always known in the deep of your being to be true. Imagination is the womb of reality. Let your desires be conceived there, nurtured there, matured there. There is no outer condition you must fulfill. Only the inner knowing that it is already so. What you see with the inner eye is more powerful than all the facts in the world. And once seen, once felt, once accepted, the outer cannot help but bow to it. You are the scriptwriter and the actor, the director and the stage. And the scene you rehearse most often becomes the life you live. So rehearse joy, rehearse wealth, rehearse generosity and freedom and laughter and impact. Rehearse winning, not as a distant hope but as a present truth. And then walk through the world, not looking for signs, but knowing that the sign is already within you. You have already won. Now assume it, live from it, and watch the world conform. There is no virtue in waiting. There is no power in postponing your claim. The moment you dare to say within yourself, "It is done," you step into a realm where delay loses its grip. The world as you have known it begins to melt before your inner conviction, and though your senses may cry out for evidence, you give them none but the stillness of your knowing. For the senses do not lead, they follow. They are not the master, but the servant of your imagination. Each day, and even more so, each night, bring your awareness to that unseen place where all things are possible. You must withdraw from the facts of life and rest in the truth of spirit. There, in that quiet field of consciousness, you plant the seed of identity, not of desire but of fulfillment, not of reaching but of resting, not of trying but of being. The harvest is not in the effort, the harvest is in the assumption. What would you feel if you no longer had to ask, when will it happen? What if the answer was now? What if all waiting ceased in a single moment of awareness? You must learn to let go of time as a barrier. You must rise above the ticking of the clock and move in the timeless dimension of imagination. There you are not becoming, you are. You are the winner. You are the millionaire. You are the testimony. And the world bows to that inner decree. You do not need to convince anyone else. This is not about others believing in you. It is not their belief that shapes your world. It is yours. Your family may not understand. Your friends may dismiss it. But that matters not at all. You are not accountable to their sight. You are responsible only for your own inner eye, your own inner dialogue, your own unwavering certainty. For the one who believes within, even if the whole world stands opposed, shall still walk in the fruit of their assumption. You need not know how the money will come. The rational mind will always demand the how. It will ask for strategy, for logic, for evidence. But you must learn to quiet that voice. Let it speak and let it pass like wind through the trees. It is not your enemy, but it is not your master either. The how is never your work. Your only work is to dwell in the state, to dwell fully, richly, boldly in the feeling that the money is already yours, that the winning numbers have been read, that your name has been called, that your life from this moment forward is never the same. Do not measure progress by appearances. Appearances are the echo of old beliefs. They are not the substance. The moment you look to the outer for confirmation, you are stepping away from your power. The world reflects, it does not lead. And when you understand this, you stop chasing, you stop doubting, and you begin to reign. You reign in the quiet chambers of your heart. You reign in your private moments of imagination. You reign in stillness, not in noise. Do not entertain the thought, what if it doesn't happen? That is not your thought. That is the old self trying to resurrect itself. You are under no obligation to think anything that diminishes your truth. The mind will try to present what it thinks is realistic, but you are not bound by realism. You are bound by law, and the law says, according to your assumption, be it done unto you, not according to luck, not according to chance, not according to statistics, according to your assumption. So assume the win. Assume it so vividly, so completely, that nothing can shake you, not a delay, not a rejection, not even a so-called, because even if a drawing comes and goes and your name is not called, you do not flinch, you do not sway. You say within yourself, that was not my moment. But the moment is coming, and it must come, because I have assumed it. That quiet conviction will draw the event to you. For nothing resists the one who will not be moved. You do not manifest by intensity, you manifest by persistence, not the fire of effort, but the quiet flame of faith. It is not about how hard you visualize, it is not about how long you affirm, it is about how completely you accept the new state as your identity. And when you do, when you truly do, the world softens, the obstacles dissolve, the impossible becomes ordinary. You must fall in love with the state, not for what it will bring you, but for how it feels now. You must fall in love with the version of yourself that walks with confidence, that breathes deeply, that lives without lack. You must become one with that identity. Speak from it, act from it, think from it. Let it be the hidden spring from which your every movement flows. The world may look unchanged, but you are not waiting for the world to change. You are simply allowing it to catch up to your assumption, and it will. With divine precision, It will. Every event, every meeting, every seeming coincidence will conspire to bring your inner world into outer form. And when it happens, you will not need to ask, how did this come to pass? You will already know. You will know that the world is yourself pushed out, that the jackpot was not out there waiting for you, was in you all along, waiting for your assumption. Let your days be filled with thanksgiving, not begging, not striving, not hoping, thanksgiving. For what you already hold in your heart, give thanks that the numbers are aligned. Give thanks that your account is overflowing. Give thanks that your desires have been heard and answered in the only way they ever could be, by your inner consent. You are not playing with wishes. You are working with law, and law does not falter. Law does not forget. Law does not discriminate. It simply returns to each what they believe to be true. So believe now, not in theory, not in potential, but in fact. Believe now that it is yours, that you are rich, that you are blessed, that you are favored, that you are the winner. Imagine walking into a room and knowing that every eye turns to you with admiration, not because you boast, but because your energy speaks louder than your words. Imagine making decisions not from fear, but from freedom. Imagine how many lives you will change, how many dreams you will fund, how many hearts you will lift, not just your own, but those of many. Imagine it deeply. Imagine it regularly. Imagine it lovingly. The world has taught you to be realistic, to be cautious, to protect yourself from disappointment. But this is not the way of the creative spirit. The creative spirit dares. The creative spirit dares. The creative spirit lives in the end, and you must live in the end. The end where it is done, where your story is complete, where your bank is full, where your life is a living example of what is possible for the one who assumes you are not unworthy, you are not too late, you are not disqualified. That voice is not your truth. That voice is a relic of a forgotten identity. You are chosen the moment you choose yourself. You are worthy the moment you stop questioning it. You are abundant the moment you say within yourself, I am. Do not dilute your desire. Let it be as grand as it is. Let the dream stretch beyond logic. You are not here to manifest pennies when you were meant for treasure. You are not here to scrape by when you were meant to overflow. This world is not limited. It is abundant beyond measure, and your portion is not withheld. It is waiting for your permission to flow. Permission does not mean work. It means acceptance. Acceptance of what you already are. The winner, the prosperous one, the fulfilled one, the blessed one. You wear that title not with pride, but with reverence, because you understand now that the power to claim is the power to create. You walk into each day now, not wondering if it will happen, but wondering how beautifully it will unfold. You listen not for signs of lack, but for echoes of fulfillment. You move not from need, but from wholeness, because you have assumed the highest state, and the highest state brings the highest outcome. So let the world do what it does. Let the opinions come and go. Let the facts shout and scatter. You remain still. You remain sure. You remain rooted in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You carry within you a secret, a power, a knowing that what you have imagined is already real, that what you have felt is already fact, and that what you have assumed must be born in time, for it was conceived in spirit. And spirit never fails. You must return again and again to this inner temple of knowing, for it is from here that all things flow. The world outside may beckon you with distractions, with logic, with reminders of what it calls reality, but you are not concerned with the appearances of the moment. You are loyal only to the reality you have chosen within. Every moment you persist in that loyalty. You impress it deeper upon the subconscious. You impress it so deeply that one day, seemingly out of nowhere, the world reshapes itself and brings forth what you once only dared to imagine. There is a sacred discipline in this work, not a striving but a devotion, a willingness to let go of what was in order to live fully in what is. If you feel yourself slipping into doubt, do not panic, return. Return to the end. Return to the scene you have created. Return to the feeling. Breathe it in. Let it saturate your being. Let it become the only truth you acknowledge. For in the unseen lies the origin of the seen, and when you master the unseen, you control the seen effortlessly. You do not convince the world. You do not need its approval, its permission, or its applause. Your assumption is the only law that matters. The moment you fully accept something as true, it begins to take shape. Your inner conviction molds the clay of circumstance. You are not the victim of fate, you are the artist, the one who paints with belief and sculpts with thought. Every small act of imagination, every flash of vision, every breath of certainty builds upon the last. You may not see it yet, but something is forming. You are laying the foundation brick by invisible brick, and then in a moment you could not predict, the invisible becomes visible. The world must conform, not because you begged, not because you forced, but because you knew. There is nothing in your past that disqualifies you. There is no mistake too great, no limitation too strong. All things are redeemable through assumption. You do not carry your past forward unless you choose to. You are not your past. You are your present assumption. And in that, you are always free to begin again. In this very moment, you can choose a new state. You can say, I am already the winner, and everything before this fades into the shadows of the unreal. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not placed here to simply survive. You came to awaken, to remember your divine power. You came to create as the infinite creates, through the power of thought, through the authority of feeling, through the command of assumption. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. It is the humility of one who knows they are an extension of something far greater than the sea. And because of that, all things are possible. So what do you see when you close your eyes? What world do you dwell in when the outer world is silent? That is your true home. That is your point of creation. Let that world be rich. Let it be full. Let it be joyous. Let it be lavish, beyond reason. And do not apologize for the abundance you dare to feel. You are not taking from another. You are receiving what you have already given to yourself in thought. When the time of manifestation arrives, you will not feel surprise. You will feel recognition. You will feel the ease of alignment. You will say, of course, this is what I knew was mine. It will feel natural. It will feel familiar. Though you have rehearsed it so many times in imagination that the event itself will feel like a memory fulfilled. You must become so saturated with the end that the middle does not trouble you. You must become so aligned with the state of fulfillment that the absence of evidence does not disturb you. You must become so inwardly secure that no delay, no outer condition, no failed attempt shakes you. Because you are no longer living by the facts of the world. You are living by the truth of your assumption. And what is this assumption? It is not merely a hope or a wish. It is the knowing that what you imagine, that what you feel inwardly will be clothed in form. That what you have accepted as your self-concept must become your experience. So go ahead, accept it. Accept that you are wealthy. Accept that you are chosen. Accept that you are the one who walks with favor, with abundance, with answered prayer. Let your assumption be bold. Let it be audacious. Do not ask whether it is reasonable. Ask only if it is desired. And if it is, then it is yours. You are not here to conform to the world. You are here to shape it, not by force, but by being. You do not need to fix the world. You need only to assume the end and watch the world rearrange. When fear arises, when worry whispers its lies, do not fight it. Replace it. Replace it with the image of victory. Replace it with the feeling of winning. Replace it with the quiet confidence that everything is unfolding in your favor. You need not fight what you no longer believe in. Simply turn from it. Withdraw your attention and return to the state of fulfillment. That state will cast out all fear. You may have days when doubt seems loud. You may have moments when the world feels heavy. But remember, those are the echoes of the old self. They are not you. You are the new man, the new woman, the new being. The one who lives in the end. The one who chooses belief over evidence. Feeling over fact, vision over fear. Each morning, as your eyes open, assume the feeling of the one who has already received. Walk in the memory of the miracle. Let your heart be light. Let your words be filled with joy. Let your actions spring from a place of overflow. You are not trying to get your living from the knowing that you already have. And if you catch yourself slipping into the old story, do not condemn yourself. Simply shift. Shift from asking to thanking, from worrying to celebrating, from hoping to knowing. This is the power you hold. This is the authority you carry. The outer world has no choice but to yield when you stand firmly in the truth of your inner world. You are not merely imagining events, you are assuming identity. And identity precedes all creation. Who you are in consciousness will always determine what you experience in life. So become the one who wins. Not someday. Now. Be her now. Be him now. Let the posture of your soul declare, I am that I am. Do not try to predict how the manifestation will come. Let that be none of your concern. Just know that it will. It may come in a sudden rush, or it may come through a series of quiet unfoldings, but it will come. And when it does, it will seem so natural that you will wonder how it could have been any other way. That is the mark of true manifestation. It arrives clothed in normalcy, but born from the supernatural. Continue to saturate your days with vision, continue to return to the state, continue to persist in the inner knowing. The power does not lie in the outer event, it lies in the inner assumption. You have already been given all things. You need only to claim them. You need only to walk as though it were already true. This is the great secret. You are always becoming what you assume, not by effort, not by striving, but by identification. And the one who assumes the state of the winner shall by law experience the win. Not because they were lucky, not because they were chosen by chance, but because they knew long before the world agreed that it was already so. And so it is. Every breath you take while abiding in the end is a declaration to the unseen realms that you trust in the invisible. You are no longer pleading for your desire. You are communing with it. You speak to it as one speaks to a loyal friend. You walk with it in silence. You lie down with it in peace. And as you do, your consciousness becomes magnetic. The world around you, though still appearing ordinary, is shifting, realigning, conforming, not because of external force, but because of internal truth. This is not about becoming worthy of winning. You do not need to be more righteous, more humble, or more qualified. You already are. The moment you assume the state, worthiness is inherent. It is not about what you have done or what you have yet to do. It is about who you have dared to become in consciousness. And when you become the one who has, all that matches that identity must rush into your experience, with no hesitation, no resistance. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the creative power itself, the only creative force there is. Every invention, every fortune, every revolution began first as a thought sustained, a vision accepted, a feeling embraced. This same law that governs the sculptor's hand and the builder's dream governs your world. So you must make it your holy work to imagine wisely, to feel deeply and consistently the truth of your inner world. No matter how silent the outer landscape appears, no lottery number, no machine, no event is more powerful than your belief. Even in a game that seems random to the world, to the one who understands law, there is no randomness, there is only reflection. The numbers align, not by chance, but because consciousness draws to itself that which it has assumed to be its own. So you must not say, I hope to win, but rather it is already mine. Feel the delight of the moment. Not someday now. Let it light your spirit. Let it echo in your body. The check is written. The balance is increased. The account is full. And you are walking through life with the ease of one who has inherited the infinite. Your head is lifted. Your shoulders are free. Your presence is radiant. Not because the world gave you something, but because you remembered who you are. You assumed the posture of the blessed, and so you became the blessing. In the stillness of night, when no one is watching and no one is speaking, that is when the real work begins. That is when you enter the sacred silence of imagination. That is when you sit not with empty hands, but with the fullness of a vision that is so alive, so complete, that the external world has no choice but to catch up. Let your nights be filled with visions of wealth, not just in money, but in joy, in generosity, in freedom. Do not force your will upon life. You do not manifest by demand, but by surrendering to the reality of the end. You do not command from fear. You assume from love. And when love fills your vision, fear has no place. When peace becomes your normal state, chaos cannot abide. And when you walk in the identity of the fulfilled, lack cannot survive. There is no power in efforting, in striving, in trying to make things happen. The moment you try, you say within yourself that you do not yet have. But when you rest, when you trust, when you lean fully into the reality of the end, you affirm that you already possess, and in this resting lies the secret. Not passivity, but inner alignment. not inaction but inspired movement from the felt knowing that the outcome is secure. Let your imagination be bold. Let your declarations be sure, not whispered in hesitation, but spoken in certainty. Speak over your life as one who has seen the promise fulfilled. Speak over your finances as one who no longer doubts their flow. Speak over every detail of your future as if it were already written, because it is in you. And let your giving be great. For one who knows they have already received has no fear of giving. You give not to get, you give because you have. Your generosity becomes effortless. Your kindness becomes your currency. Your abundance becomes your natural state, and you walk through the world as one who needs nothing and therefore attracts everything. You must walk differently. You must speak differently. You must think not as one who is hoping, but as one who is remembering. You are remembering the truth of your inheritance. You are remembering the fullness of your potential. You are remembering the promise that was placed within you before you took form. And now, by assumption, you are calling it forth. The one who assumes their success cannot be denied, not because the world agrees, but because the law must obey. And what is this law? It is simple and unwavering. What you believe to be true of yourself will be made manifest. So dare to believe extravagantly. Dare to believe without condition. Dare to believe without compromise. When others question, you bless them. When others doubt, you remain still. You do not argue. You do not explain. For there is no need. Your belief is not up for debate. Your assumption is sacred. It is yours. It is the secret garden of your being, and from it springs all that the world will one day call a miracle, but you will simply call remembrance. You do not need to ask again. You do not need to plead. You only need to persist in the feeding of the end. That is the only prayer required. The inward knowing sustained without wavering that it is done, not in the distant future, but in the now. All time collapses in imagination. All distance is illusion. The moment you assume, you receive, and the rest is simply the unfolding. Even when the world seems unchanged, you are unmoved, for the appearance of stillness is not the absence of movement. The seed beneath the ground does not shout when it sprouts. The promise does not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it comes on a whisper, a nudge, a breeze, and yet it comes. You are not chasing a dream. You are embodying a truth, the truth that you are already whole, the truth that you are already rich, the truth that you are already chosen. And when you walk in that truth, the dream finds you. You no longer search, you are found. You no longer knock, the door opens. So keep returning to the end. Let it become your favorite dwelling place. Let it become so familiar, so comfortable, so real, that anything less feels foreign. Let it become your new normal, and soon it will be. What you normalize in consciousness, you materialize in form. What you repeatedly feel, you eventually see. Let this be the quiet confidence that steadies your every step, that you do not need to force reality to bend to your will. You need only to surrender fully to the version of yourself that has already received, to see life through their eyes, to speak from their perspective, to live from their peace. And as you do, the world will change around you, not because you fought to change it, but because you changed. And the outer is always the echo of the inner. The jackpot is not an event, it is a reflection. It is not a lucky break, it is the mirror of a self that finally believed without condition. So walk on, not in struggle but in certainty, not in waiting but in fulfillment. Let each breath be a confirmation. Let each heartbeat be a celebration. Let each moment be soaked with the richness of your assumption. For what you have assumed, you have become. And what you have become must find expression. And so it continues. Therefore, let your inner world remain unwavering. Stand firm in the feeding of the wish fulfilled. Carry yourself not as one who is seeking, but as one who has found. Know that the moment you assumed the state, the wheels of creation began to turn. The outer must bend to match the inner, and your world cannot help but reflect the truth you have chosen to believe. So persist. Persist with quiet confidence. Persist with joy. Persist with the dignity of one who already holds the treasure. For the law is faithful, and what you have claimed in consciousness is already yours. This moment right now is divine. You are not here by accident, not listening to these words by chance. There are no coincidences in the great tapestry of life, only signs, only messages whispered into the depths of your soul. You have prayed, you have waited, and now the sign is before you. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. The reality you long for is not in some distant future, it is here, waiting for you to claim it. The world around you may look the same, but do not be deceived by appearances. What is unseen is more real than what is seen. Your desire, your vision, already exists in the unseen, waiting for you to bring it forth. The struggle, the delays, the disappointments, they were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you, to prepare you for what is coming. You have endured, and now the moment approaches where the unseen becomes seen, where the promise manifests before your very eyes. Look no longer at lack. Look no longer at struggle. These things do not define you. What defines you is the truth within, the knowing that what you seek is already yours. The door is not locked. It has never been locked. The key was never in the hands of the world. It has always been within you. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. It is waiting for you to step into the awareness that it is done. Doubt whispers that it will take time. Faith declares it is already here. The moment you accept that your desire is fulfilled, you step into a new state of being. You walk differently, think differently, speak differently. The world bends to meet you at the level of your belief. This is not theory, this is truth. You have seen glimpses of it before. Small moments where things aligned perfectly, where prayers were answered in ways you never expected. These were signs, reminders that you are never forgotten, never abandoned. Now, the greatest sign of all is before you. Do you feel it? That stirring within your spirit, that deep knowing that something is shifting, that is not imagination, it is confirmation. Everything you have walked through has led to this moment. The struggle is not the end, it is the doorway. You have been refined in the fire, and now you emerge stronger, clearer, ready. The breakthrough you seek is not in the hands of others, not in the opinions of the world. It is not waiting for the right circumstances, the perfect conditions. It is waiting for you. The moment you surrender doubt, the moment you release fear, the moment you say it is done, all of heaven moves to bring it forth. Doors that seem closed forever will open. Paths you never saw before will unfold. And you will know without a shadow of a doubt that this was never about struggle. It was always about faith. This moment is not ordinary, it is sacred. You have been drawn to this message, not by accident, but by divine order. Everything within you has been seeking, longing, pressing forward, believing, and sometimes even doubting. But hear this now, your breakthrough is not far. It is not hidden in the distant future. It is here, in this very moment, waiting for you to awaken to its reality. The signs have been all around you, whispering to you in moments of silence, nudging you in dreams, revealing themselves in ways too perfect to be mere coincidence. And now, this is the confirmation, this is the sign. You have not been forgotten, you have not been abandoned. What you have been seeking is already seeking you. The world may have told you to wait, to be patient, to keep struggling, to accept that things take time. But the truth is, time is an illusion. The only thing that separates you from your breakthrough is your own awareness of it. What you desire, what you have prayed for, what you have cried for in the silent hours of the night is not something that must be earned. It is something that already belongs to you. The door is open, but only faith can walk through it. The mind that is caught in waiting, in longing, in doubting, will always see delay. But the mind that knows, the mind that accepts, the mind that declares it is done, will see it manifest as surely as the sun rises. You have been through much. You have faced struggles that others do not see. You have carried burdens that have tried to break you. But you are still here. You are still standing, and this is not because you are merely surviving, it is because you are being prepared. Every tear you have shed has watered the soil of your future. Every moment of pain has been shaping you, refining you, making you ready for what is coming. You may have thought the delays were setbacks, but they were set-ups. The moments of waiting were not moments of denial, they were moments of alignment, moments of preparation, moments where your faith was being strengthened so that you could hold the weight of the blessing that is about to unfold. Feel this truth deep within you now. Everything that has been promised to you is already yours. You are not hoping for it, you are not chasing it, it is already done. The unseen is more real than the seen. The world around you is only a reflection of the beliefs you hold within. What you accept as true in your heart will be made visible before your eyes. And so, if you would dare to shift, if you would dare to rise above the noise of doubt and declare with absolute certainty that your breakthrough is now, then nothing in this world could stand against it. Look at your life not as it is, but as you desire it to be. See yourself already in possession of the blessing. Feel the joy of it. Walk in the confidence of it. Speak as though it is already done, because the moment you do, heaven moves on your behalf. Circumstances shift. People are placed in position. The impossible becomes possible, and what once seemed like a distant dream becomes your living reality. There is no force on earth that can stop what is meant for you. No mistake you have made, no obstacle in your path, no opposition from the world can delay what has already been ordained. The only thing that can delay it is the refusal to believe that it is yours. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to struggle for what has already been given. The law of the divine is simple. What you believe, you receive. What you expect, you attract. What you accept, you become. And so, if you would only stand firm, if you would only claim your blessing with unwavering faith, if you would only declare with the authority that has been given to you, it is mine, then you would see it unfold before your eyes. Fear may try to whisper that it is not possible. The mind may try to reason that it will take time. But faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith does not wait for proof. Faith does not ask for confirmation. Faith knows. And when you know, truly know, deep within your soul, that your breakthrough is now, then nothing in this world can keep it from you. There will always be voices that try to make you doubt. There will always be circumstances that try to shake your faith. But this is where you must stand firm. Do not waver. Do not shrink back. The blessing is not for the one who waits in fear. It is for the one who steps forward in boldness, for the one who refuses to accept anything less than what has already been given. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are not waiting for permission to receive what is yours. It is already done. Look around you now with different eyes. See beyond the temporary. See beyond the struggles. See beyond the delays. What you desire is already present in the unseen. It is already formed. It is already finished. You are not trying to create it. You are only aligning yourself with it. And the way you align is by believing, by declaring, by knowing. There will come a moment when you look back on this time and realize that the waiting was never truly waiting. It was a process of becoming, a process of stepping into the awareness that you were never without, never lacking, never forgotten. And when that moment comes, when the breakthrough appears, when the prayers are answered, when the doors open wide, you will know that it was never about struggle. It was always about faith. It was always about seeing beyond what the eyes can see and believing in the unseen with every fiber of your being. Hold fast now. Stand firm. Do not let go of this knowing. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it is here. It is done. It is yours. Everything is aligning. Even now, forces unseen are moving on your behalf. The shift has already taken place. What was once hidden is being revealed. What once felt far away is now within reach. There is no more waiting, no more delaying, no more wondering if you are worthy. You have always been worthy. The blessing has always been yours. The only thing left for you to do is claim it, to walk in it, to embody the truth that it is already done. The world may try to tell you otherwise. It may show you obstacles, struggles, and delays. It may try to convince you that things are not changing. But you must not look with the eyes of the flesh. You must look with the eyes of faith. What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal. What you hold within your heart is more powerful than anything you can see around you. The circumstances do not define your reality. Your belief does. And if you believe now, if you accept now, if you declare now that your breakthrough is here, then nothing can stop it from unfolding. There is no force strong enough to hold back what is divinely ordained. No circumstance, no person, no past mistake can keep you from what has already been set in motion. The moment you chose faith over fear, the moment you decided to believe in the unseen rather than be swayed by what is in front of you, everything shifted. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but in the realm of the unseen it is already finished. The path has already been cleared, the doors have already been opened, the way has already been made. Hold on to this truth now. Let it sink deep into your spirit. You have come too far to turn back. You have endured too much to give up now. Every challenge, every trial, every delay has only served to make you stronger, to prepare you for the blessing that is unfolding. It was never a punishment. It was never meant to break you. It was meant to mold you, to shape you, to make you ready for what is coming. There is a version of you, a higher version, that already lives in the reality you desire. That version of you is confident, at peace, walking in abundance, surrounded by favor. That version of you does not doubt, does not worry, does not question. That version of you knows. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to step into that version of yourself. You have the power to embody the reality you've been longing for. You do not need to wait for circumstances to change. You must change first. The moment you shift, everything around you shifts. The signs have been everywhere. The confirmations have been coming. Every time you felt a deep knowing, every time you saw a small glimpse of what is possible, every time you felt an unshakable peace in the midst of uncertainty, that was a sign. That was proof that what you desire is not just wishful thinking. It is real. It is meant for you. You must now rise above doubt. You must now silence the thoughts that tell you it is not possible. You must now walk in the fullness of what has already been given, speak it as though it is already done, feel it as though it is already yours, carry yourself with the confidence of someone who already knows that they have received, because the moment you do, the entire universe must respond. Everything must align with the reality you hold in your heart. The breakthrough is not separate from you. It is not something you are trying to reach. It is something that already exists within you, waiting for you to fully accept it. Fear may try to creep in, but fear has no power here. Doubt may try to whisper, but doubt has no authority. The truth is stronger than any illusion. And the truth is, your life is changing even now. Things are shifting even now. The unseen is becoming seen even now. Every moment, every breath, every step you take in faith is bringing you closer to the visible manifestation of what has already been set in motion. You are not waiting for it to happen. It is already happening. Let go of the old. Release the thoughts that no longer serve you. Release the habits that keep you tied to the past. Release the belief that you must struggle to receive what is already yours. The moment you let go, the moment you surrender fully to the knowing that it is done, you will see the evidence unfold before your very eyes. The timing is perfect, the path is clear, everything is working in your favor. You do not need to know how it will happen. That is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to believe, to trust, to walk as if it is already yours, because it is. Everything you have been seeking is seeking you. Everything you have been waiting for has been waiting for you to step into alignment. The moment you match the frequency of your blessing, nothing can stop it from manifesting. Feel the shift now. Feel the peace that comes with knowing it is done. Feel the weight of doubt lifting, the burden of waiting dissolving. You are already there. You are already in the reality you desire. Time is an illusion. The only thing that matters is your belief in this moment. If you would dare to believe fully, to trust completely, to walk in absolute certainty, you would see miracles unfold before your very eyes. You have always been powerful. You have always been divinely guided. Every step, every moment, every experience has led you to this realization. And now you stand on the edge of the greatest breakthrough of your life. The only thing left to do is claim it, embrace it, walk in it. The time is now. The moment is here. It is already done. Every breath you take is a confirmation that life is moving in your favor. Every beat of your heart is proof that the unseen is working on your behalf. You are not separate from the power that creates worlds. You are not separate from the divine intelligence that governs all things. You are one with it. And because you are one with it, there is no struggle, no lack, no delay. Only unfolding, only alignment, only the continuous expression of what has always been yours. What you are seeking is not outside of you. It is not something you must chase. It is something you must allow. It is something you must recognize as already existing within you. There is no distance between you and your breakthrough. There is no separation between you and your desire. The only separation is the illusion that you must wait, that you must strive, that you must prove yourself worthy. But you are already worthy. You were born worthy. The moment you understand this truth, everything shifts. The chains of limitation break. The weight of doubt disappears. The fear of failure vanishes. Because in that moment you realize you were never waiting for a breakthrough. Your breakthrough was waiting for you. Waiting for you to rise above doubt. Waiting for you to release fear. Waiting for you to claim what has always been yours. You do not have to beg for what has already been given. You do not have to plead for what is already yours. You do not have to seek permission for what was destined for you before time began. The universe does not operate in uncertainty. It does not hesitate. It does not second-guess itself. It moves with absolute certainty, with divine precision, with unwavering faith in its own perfection. And because you are one with that power, you must move in the same way. Walk as if you already have it. Speak as if it is already yours. Think as if the reality you desire is the only reality that exists. Because the moment you do, the moment you fully embody that knowing, the outer world has no choice but to conform. It must bend to the truth you hold in your heart. It must reflect the conviction that radiates from within you. The unseen must become seen. The invisible must become visible. The promise must become reality. There is no force strong enough to block what is divinely appointed for you. No obstacle is greater than the power that flows through you. No delay can outlast the certainty of a heart that believes. The only question is, will you believe now? Will you trust now? Will you let go of doubt now? Because the moment you do, everything you have been waiting for will flood into your life as if it had been there all along. There is no need to wait for permission. There is no need to wait for signs. The signs have already been given. Every moment of deep knowing, every whisper of intuition, every moment of peace in the midst of uncertainty has been a sign. Every time you felt a shift in your spirit, every time you caught a glimpse of what is possible, every time you felt an unshakable calm in the middle of the storm, that was a sign. A sign that it is already done, a sign that your breakthrough is not coming, it is here. Do not be distracted by what your eyes see. Do not be swayed by what circumstances suggest. The physical world is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. But the moment you change your belief, the moment you shift your assumption, the moment you decide that nothing can stop what is already yours, reality must obey. It has no choice. It is law. You are not a victim of life. You are the creator of your experience. You are not subject to circumstances. Circumstances are subject to you. The moment you take your rightful place as the author of your reality, everything changes. You no longer wait. You no longer hope. You no longer wonder if it will happen. You know. And because you know, it must be so. Feel the power of this truth. Let it wash over you. Let it sink into the deepest part of your being. Let it dissolve every lingering doubt, every old fear, every past hesitation. You are no longer who you were yesterday. You are no longer the person who questioned, who hesitated, who waited for proof before believing. You are now the person who knows, who trusts, who walks in certainty. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream, it is not a wish, it is not a possibility, it is a reality. A reality that already exists, waiting for you to claim it. And the moment you do, the moment you fully step into that truth, nothing can stop it from unfolding. The doors that seemed closed will swing open. The delays that seemed endless will vanish. The path that seemed uncertain will become clear, because it was never about the external world, it was always about you, your belief, your knowing, your willingness to trust in what cannot yet be seen. You have been prepared for this moment. Everything you have faced, everything you have endured, everything you have overcome has led you to this realization. Nothing was wasted, nothing was in vain. Every step, every lesson, every challenge was shaping you, refining you, making you ready to receive what has always been yours. You did not come this far to stop now. You did not endure so much just to turn back. The promise has already been fulfilled. The manifestation is already unfolding. The only thing left for you to do is accept it. Speak it now, claim it now, walk in it now, feel it now, because the moment you do, the moment you truly believe, the world around you will shift in ways you never imagined. What seemed impossible will become inevitable. What seemed far away will become your present reality. What seemed like a dream will become the life you wake up to every single day. You have always been powerful. You have always been divinely favored. You have always been chosen. And now you stand at the threshold of the greatest breakthrough of your life. The only thing left to do is step forward in faith, knowing that it is already done. There is no force in this world that can keep from you what has already been written in your name. No delay is strong enough, no obstacle is large enough, no opposition is powerful enough to stop what has been divinely ordained. The moment you understand this, you no longer beg, you no longer plead, you no longer wait in uncertainty. You step forward in full confidence, knowing that your breakthrough is not a question of if, but when, and even that when is now. Everything that has happened up to this point has not been to harm you, but to prepare you. Every closed door was a divine redirection. Every disappointment was an unseen blessing. Every delay was an act of grace, ensuring that when you walk into your breakthrough, you will be ready to receive it fully, without fear, without hesitation, without doubt. You were never being denied, you were being refined. Your faith was being strengthened, your heart was being expanded, your mind was being renewed. You do not need to ask for what has already been given. You do not need to seek outside of yourself for confirmation of what is already unfolding. The evidence is within you, that deep knowing, that quiet assurance, that inner peace despite what your physical eyes see. That is the greatest sign you will ever receive. You would not have been given the vision if it were not already yours. You would not feel the pull towards something greater if you were not meant to experience it. The desire itself is the confirmation. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will show you lack, it will show you limitation, it will show you reasons to doubt. But you must look beyond appearances. You must see beyond what is and focus on what is becoming. What you hold in your imagination, what you affirm in your heart, what you embody in your spirit, that is what determines what unfolds in your life. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not subject to statistics. You are not a prisoner of the past. You are a creator, a co-creator with the divine, shaping reality through the power of belief. It does not matter what has not happened yet. It does not matter what others say is possible or impossible. The moment you decide, the moment you step into the fullness of your faith, the unseen forces begin to rearrange themselves in your favor. The doors you thought were closed begin to open. The resources you thought were out of reach begin to appear. The opportunities you thought had passed you by begin to chase you down. Because nothing can resist the power of a mind that is fully convinced. You have waited long enough. You have doubted long enough. You have questioned long enough. Now is the time to trust. Now is the time to walk forward as if everything you have asked for is already here, because in truth it is. The moment you align yourself with the reality you desire, the moment you embody it in thought, in word, in action, in feeling, it must manifest. This is not wishful thinking. This is not a hopeful fantasy. This is law. You were created with the power to call things into existence. You were given the ability to move mountains, not by effort, but by faith. You were born to be limitless, yet you have allowed yourself to believe in limitation. You were born to walk in divine abundance, yet you have settled for lack, but no more. The time for hesitation is over. The time for uncertainty has passed. Now is the moment to stand firm, to plant your feet in the foundation of unwavering belief, to declare with absolute certainty that your breakthrough is here. Do not wait for physical proof before you believe. Do not wait for external validation before you act. Faith is not about seeing first. It is about knowing first. It is about feeling first. It is about becoming first. And when you do, the world has no choice but to catch up. Reality must reflect the conviction you hold. Circumstances must bend to the truth you embody. The unseen must become seen. The formless must be fulfilled. You have already won. You have already conquered. You have already received. The only thing left is for you to wake up to the truth of who you are and claim it. Stand in your power. Walk in your authority. Move with the certainty of someone who knows that nothing is missing. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is out of reach. Because when you do, you will realize that your breakthrough was never far away. It was always within you, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to accept it, waiting for you to declare with unwavering faith that it is already done. You are not bound by the limitations of time or space. The truth of who you are transcends these constraints. The universe operates in perfect order, and within this order there is no delay, there is no waiting, there is only divine timing, and divine timing is always right on time. What you have been desiring, what you have been working toward is already in motion. It has already begun to unfold, even if your eyes cannot see it yet. Even if your mind cannot fully comprehend it, know this: it is closer than you think. What you are experiencing right now is not a setback, it is a set-up for the greatness that is about to enter your life. All of the challenges, the obstacles, the struggles, they are the divine preparation for the breakthrough you are about to experience. You could not have arrived at this moment without passing through these tests. They were necessary. They were part of the process. They were never meant to break you, but to shape you into the person you are now. Strong, resilient, and ready to step into your power. The universe never sends you anything you are not capable of handling. It may seem hard at times, it may seem overwhelming, but in those moments you are being prepared for something greater. When the pressure is high, it is because you are being forged into something more powerful than you ever thought possible. You are a diamond being formed in the fire. You are a tree with deep roots growing in the storms. The challenges you face are not here to destroy you. They are here to strengthen you, to refine you, to mold you into the version of yourself that is capable of receiving the fullness of the blessings that are coming. Understand that nothing happens by accident. Everything you are going through is part of a larger plan, a divine orchestration that is working for your good. Even when things seem unclear, when it feels like the world is against you, know that everything is happening according to divine order. The forces of the universe are aligning to bring you exactly what you need at the exact right time. It may not come in the way you expect, it may not come in the package you imagined, but it will come. And when it does, it will be exactly what you need to fulfill your purpose and step into the life you have always dreamed of. Do not be discouraged by the time it seems to take. Do not be disheartened by the delays that appear. What you are waiting for is not out there, far off in the distance. It is already here in the unseen, in the energetic realm. It is already taking shape. And the moment you shift your perception, the moment you align your thoughts and feelings with the knowing that your breakthrough is imminent, you will see it materialize before your eyes. The key is to remain steadfast in your faith, no matter what your circumstances may suggest. The moment you give up, the moment you stop believing, is the moment the manifestation slips further away. But if you hold on, if you keep moving forward with the confidence that what you desire is already yours, then the universe will have no choice but to bring it into your physical reality. Your power lies in your ability to believe without seeing, to trust without evidence, to know without proof. This is where your strength is found. The world may try to convince you that you need to see it to believe it, but that is the very opposite of the law of creation. You must first believe it to see it. You must first feel it in your heart and soul before it can ever manifest in your life. Your inner world shapes your outer world. Your character, your own, what you feel, what you believe, what you expect. This is what the universe will deliver to you. When you begin to live with the knowing that your breakthrough is already here, you stop searching for signs. You stop waiting for external confirmation. You stop questioning the process. You trust fully and completely that what you have asked for is already on its way. And the moment you align yourself with that truth, the universe begins to work in your favor. Things start falling into place. Opportunities begin to present themselves. People, resources, and situations that will support you in your journey start to appear out of nowhere. Understand that this is not by chance, this is not a coincidence. This is the law of attraction at work. This is the law of manifestation. This is the power of your thoughts and beliefs shaping your reality. And the more you focus on what you want, on what is already yours, the more it will come to you. But the key is to believe it now, to know it now, to feel it now. You must walk in the faith that your breakthrough is already unfolding. You must speak it as though it is already here. You must act as though it is already done. And when you do, you will begin to see the results in your life. What you seek is already seeking you. What you desire is already desiring you. The universe is conspiring in your favor. And when you recognize this, when you fully embody the belief that everything you need is already on its way, you will begin to attract everything that aligns with your vision. Do not look to your past for evidence of what is to come. Your past is not a reflection of your future. Your past is simply a series of experiences that have led you to this moment. It is what you do now, in this moment, that determines your future. It is your belief in the unseen, your trust in the divine process, that will determine the shape of what is to come. The breakthrough is not a future event. The breakthrough is now. It is happening right now, in this moment. The question is, are you ready to receive it? Are you ready to step into the fullness of your power? Are you ready to claim what is already yours? You have been prepared for this moment. Everything that has come before has been part of the grand plan. The challenges, the victories, the lessons, they have all been preparing you for the greatness that is about to unfold in your life. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are not the same person you were a week ago. Every experience has shaped you, has refined you, has made you ready for the breakthrough that is now on its way. Your breakthrough is not just about a new job, a new relationship, a new opportunity. Your breakthrough is about stepping into the full realization of who you are. It is about awakening to your divine potential, to your true power. It is about embracing the truth that you are already whole, already complete, already worthy of every blessing the universe has to offer. And once you step into that truth, once you fully embrace your divine nature, the breakthroughs will come flooding into your life. Not because you have to work for them, not because you have to strive, but because you are now aligned with the energy that attracts them. You are now a magnet for everything you desire. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is not a distant dream, it is already yours. And the moment you believe that, the moment you embody that truth, it will appear in your life in ways you never imagined possible. You will look around and see that everything you have asked for is already here, unfolding before your eyes. And you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was always meant to be. You have been prepared, whether you realize it or not, for the moment of your breakthrough. Every experience, every trial, every setback has been part of the greater divine plan. These moments have not been random. They have been necessary to build your resilience, your strength, and your trust. Every seemingly negative situation was not a sign of defeat. It was a lesson that brought you closer to your ultimate victory. Every obstacle was not an enemy to be feared, but a stepping stone that elevated you to new heights. The world will try to tell you that the road to success is difficult, that it is reserved for the lucky or the special. It will show you evidence that life is a struggle, that not everyone gets what they want, but you must ignore that. You must refuse to accept that narrative, because the truth is that you were never meant to struggle indefinitely. You were never meant to wait endlessly for a breakthrough that never comes. The breakthrough is already here. It is within your grasp, and it has always been within you. You see, the key to unlocking your breakthrough lies not in waiting for it to happen, but in becoming the person who is ready for it. It is about shifting your perception. It is about stepping into a new consciousness, a higher way of thinking. When you begin to align yourself with the truth of who you are, a divine being, a co-creator with the universe, everything begins to shift. The world around you responds to your energy. Your thoughts and feelings become magnetic, drawing the people, resources, and opportunities that you need into your life. The breakthrough is not something that happens outside of you. It is not an event that occurs in the physical world and then changes your life. The breakthrough is a shift in consciousness, a deep inner knowing that you are worthy of all the good the universe has to offer. It is the realization that you are not waiting for something to come to you. You are not waiting for permission or for the right circumstances to align. You are the creator of your reality. And when you understand this fully, everything in your life will begin to change. The reason you have not seen the breakthrough yet is because you have been waiting for external circumstances to shift, for things outside of yourself to change. But the moment you decide that you are worthy of your breakthrough, the moment you truly believe that it is already yours, everything begins to shift from within. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, they all begin to align with the reality you are creating. And when this happens, the external world has no choice but to reflect your new inner state. You are constantly creating your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. Every thought, every belief, every feeling that you hold shapes your experiences. The universe does not operate on the basis of what you want. It operates on the basis of what you believe to be true. If you believe that your breakthrough is far off, that it is difficult to attain, that it will take years to manifest, then that is what will show up in your life. But if you choose to believe that your breakthrough is already here, that it is within your reach, that it is happening now, then that is the reality that will materialize. This is the power you hold. It is the power of belief, the power of faith, the power of knowing that what you desire is already on its way. When you shift your focus away from what you don't have and begin to focus on what you already possess, the inner strength, the wisdom, the clarity, the love, the breakthrough you've been waiting for will arrive effortlessly. When you stop seeking validation from others and start trusting your own inner guidance, the doors will open. When you stop trying to figure everything out with your logical mind and start trusting in the process, the universe will conspire in your favor. You are a magnet for your desires. What you focus on, you attract. What you believe, you manifest. And so it is essential that you believe that your breakthrough is coming, that it is already here in some form. The moment you believe it, the moment you accept it, you begin to attract it into your life. This is not just wishful thinking. This is the way the universe works. This is how creation happens. The moment you align your thoughts and beliefs with the reality you desire, you will see evidence of it all around you. You will see signs, synchronicities, opportunities, and people that support your vision. It will feel like everything is falling into place effortlessly. You won't have to chase after things or force them to happen. Everything will begin to flow, and you will step into your breakthrough with ease and grace. It may not happen in the exact way you expect, and it may not arrive in the way you've been hoping for, but it will come. It will always come. The breakthrough is not about the form it takes. It is about the essence of it, the feeling of expansion, the sense of fulfillment, the knowing that you have become who you are meant to be. That is the true breakthrough, and it is already happening within you. You may be wondering how to make this shift in your thinking, how to change your beliefs and align yourself with the truth of your breakthrough. It begins with self-awareness. It begins with understanding that your thoughts are powerful, that your beliefs are shaping your reality every single day. Take a moment to reflect on what you truly believe about yourself, about your future, about the possibilities that lie ahead. Are your beliefs aligned with your dreams, or are they rooted in fear and doubt? If you find that your beliefs are not aligned with what you want, begin to change them. Start by affirming the truth that you are worthy of your breakthrough. Speak it out loud, write it down, feel it in your body. Every time doubt arises, replace it with an affirmation of your power and your worth. Know that you are deserving of every blessing, every opportunity, every dream that you desire. Visualize your breakthrough as if it has already occurred. See it in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions of having already received it. Immerse yourself in the experience of it, and let that feeling become your reality. When you do this, you are creating a new blueprint for your life. You are planting seeds of belief that will eventually manifest in the physical world. The moment you start aligning yourself with the truth that your breakthrough is already here, the universe will begin to rearrange itself in your favor. You will no longer feel like you are chasing after your dreams. Your dreams will begin to chase you. You will become a magnet for the people, situations, and opportunities that are needed to bring your vision to life. Remember, there is no force in this world that can keep you from what is already meant for you. There is no circumstance, no challenge, no setback that can prevent your breakthrough from coming. It is already yours. It is waiting for you to step into it. And the moment you do, the world will open up to you in ways you could never have imagined. Your breakthrough is not a future event. It is a present reality. It is happening now. And when you fully embrace this truth, you will step into a life of limitless possibility. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream or a far-off hope. It is an unfolding reality that begins within you. The moment you truly accept that everything you need, everything you desire, is already aligned and waiting for you, the world around you will begin to shift. You are the creator of your reality, and the universe is responding to the energy you put out. As you let go of doubt and embrace your power, as you choose to believe in the certainty of your breakthrough, it will manifest effortlessly in your life. Know this: the path to your breakthrough is not a path of struggle or uncertainty. It is the path of faith, belief, and alignment with your highest truth. It is already unfolding. The opportunities are arriving. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. The question is not whether it will come. It already is. The question is, will you trust in it, believe in it, and step into it with full confidence? Step forward with the certainty that everything you desire is already on its way. Your breakthrough is now. Embrace it. There is a place within you, a sacred ground where all things are known, where truth is not something to be sought, but something to be remembered. This place is the source, the root from which all life flows. To be deeply rooted in God is not to look outward for strength, but to recognize that the kingdom of heaven is already within you. Jeremiah 17 speaks of the man who trusts in the Lord, who is like a tree planted by the waters, stretching out its roots to the stream, never fearing the heat, never anxious in drought, always bearing fruit. This is not a lesson about trees. It is a lesson about consciousness. What is this tree that remains unshaken by the storms of life? It is the man whose faith is not swayed by appearances, whose foundation is built upon the unseen reality of God's presence within him. To be deeply rooted in God is to live from the awareness that He is not a distant force, but the very life that moves through you. It is to awaken to the knowing that every thought you hold, every belief you nurture, is like a root extending into the soil of your soul. If you plant your mind in fear, in doubt, in the fleeting instability of the world, then when the drought comes, you will wither. But if you plant yourself in the deep waters of faith, in the unwavering assurance that God is your supply, your strength, your unfailing source, then nothing can shake you. The world will tell you that you must seek security in things, in wealth, in status. But a tree does not cling to the wind. It does not search the sky for sustenance. It draws from within. So must you. The more you turn inward, the more you trust in the eternal presence of God flowing through you, the more unshakable you become. When others fear loss, you will stand firm. When the world trembles with uncertainty, you will remain at peace. For your roots are not in the shifting sands of circumstance, but in the eternal ground of divine truth. To be deeply rooted in God is to no longer be a servant to what the eyes can see. It is to walk by faith, not by sight. It is to know that even when the outer world appears barren, the inner world is abundant. A tree does not bear fruit instantly. It trusts in the unseen work beneath the surface. So must you. In the silence of prayer and the stillness of your own heart, you cultivate the unseen power of God. You do not rush, you do not fear, for you know that the roots of faith run deep, and in due time the harvest will come. Many will tell you that you are alone, that God is far, that your struggles define you. But the truth is this: God is as close as your own breath, as near as your own thoughts. To be deeply rooted in Him is to remove every thought that suggests separation. It is to reject the lie that you must search for Him, for He is already here. You need not strive, you need not chase, only awaken. Awaken to the knowing that, like the tree beside the waters, you are sustained, you are provided for, you are deeply, eternally, and unshakably held in the hands of God. You are not meant to wander through life uncertain, swayed by every wind of change, nor are you meant to live in fear of tomorrow. The one who is deeply rooted in God understands that faith is not a temporary refuge, but a way of being. It is not something you turn to when times are hard. It is the foundation upon which your life is built. The world will tell you to place your trust in what is seen, to measure your life by external conditions, but the Spirit knows otherwise. It knows that what is seen is only a reflection of what is believed. To be deeply rooted in God is to understand that your reality begins within, that your thoughts are the seeds, and your faith is the soil in which they grow. Jeremiah 17 speaks of a tree planted by the waters, a tree that does not fear the heat, nor is it anxious in drought. That tree does not question whether the waters will continue to flow, nor does it wonder if the sun will rise again. It simply abides in the truth of its being. It knows that it is sustained, nourished, and provided for. This is the state of mind you must cultivate. Do not look at the lack in your life and say, "I have nothing." Do not look at your struggles and say, "I am weak." For the moment you declare lack, you plant a seed of limitation. The moment you accept fear, you allow the roots of doubt to take hold. But when you declare, "God is my source, my provider, my strength," you are planting yourself in the eternal stream of divine abundance. To be deeply rooted in God is to no longer rely on circumstances to dictate your peace. It is to know that peace is already yours, that joy is already yours, that every good thing is already prepared for you. The world will tell you to chase, to struggle, to prove your worth through effort. But the one who trusts in God understands that all is given freely to the one who abides in faith. This is not a call to passivity, but a call to certainty, a call to unwavering trust in the unseen power that moves through you. When you pray, do not pray from a place of lack, begging for what you think you do not have. Pray from a place of assurance, knowing that your prayer is already answered. When you act, do not act from desperation, but from a place of knowing that what is meant for you cannot be lost. A tree that is deeply rooted does not rush its growth. It does not doubt its process. It does not compare itself to the trees around it, wondering if it is growing fast enough or if its branches are strong enough. It simply trusts in the divine order of life. This is how you must live. You must trust that God's plan for you is unfolding perfectly, even when you do not yet see the fruits of your labor. You must trust that every season serves its purpose. There will be times when it seems as though nothing is happening, times when you feel as though you are buried beneath the weight of trials. But understand this: you are not buried, you are being planted. Every difficulty, every challenge, every moment of waiting is preparing you for what is to come. When others crumble under pressure, you will remain steadfast. When others question, you will stand firm. For your foundation is not built upon the shifting sands of circumstances, but upon the rock of divine truth. To be deeply rooted in God is to remain unshaken, to know that the same God who created the heavens and the earth is the same God who dwells within you. And if He is within you, what can stand against you? If He is within you, what is there to fear? Nothing in this world has power over you unless you give it power in your mind. Lack has no power. Fear has no power. Failure has no power. The only power they have is the power you give them through your belief. When you withdraw your belief in limitation and place it fully in the infinite power of God, you become unshakable. You must learn to turn away from appearances and trust in the unseen. The world may tell you that your situation is impossible, that the odds are against you, that you are alone. But faith does not look at the outer world for confirmation. Faith looks within. Do not waver when things do not happen immediately. The seed does not question whether it will become a tree. It simply abides in the truth of its being. So must you abide in the knowing that every promise of God is already fulfilled. The moment you ask, the answer is given. The moment you seek, you have already found. It is not the world that must change, it is your perception of it. To be deeply rooted in God is to live in gratitude before the blessing appears. It is to give thanks, not because you see the answer, but because you know that it is already done. It is to walk with the confidence of one who understands that they are never alone, never forsaken, never without the presence of God. Many people go through life feeling disconnected, searching for meaning, looking for signs that God is with them. But the one who is deeply rooted does not search, he knows. He knows that God is in every breath, in every moment, in every movement of life. He does not beg for signs, for his faith is the sign. He does not wait for proof, for his very existence is proof of the divine. This is the truth that sets you free. The moment you stop searching and start knowing, the moment you stop striving and start trusting, everything changes. You no longer live in fear of what is to come, for you know that all things are working together for your good. You no longer worry about the opinions of others, for your worth is not determined by them. You no longer seek validation, for you are already chosen, already loved, already complete in the eyes of God. The world may not understand you. It may question your confidence. It may doubt your peace. But the tree planted by the waters does not need the approval of the wind. It stands firm, knowing that its roots run deep. There is no force in this world greater than the power of a mind rooted in God. When you understand this, you will no longer react to life, you will create life. You will no longer be a victim of circumstances, you will be a master of them. For to be deeply rooted in God is to know that nothing outside of you has power over you. It is to understand that your life is not determined by what happens to you, but by what happens within you. Change your mind, and your world will change. Align your thoughts with God's truth, and your reality will reflect it. Choose faith over fear, and you will walk in peace. Choose love over doubt, and you will walk in power. Choose trust over struggle, and you will walk in abundance. This is the way of the one who is deeply rooted. This is the path of the unshakable. And when you walk in this way, when you stand in this truth, you will see that nothing was ever missing, nothing was ever lacking, and nothing was ever impossible. For in God, all things are already yours. When you awaken to this truth, you no longer live as one tossed by the waves of circumstance. You become a presence of certainty, of assurance, of divine authority. The deeply rooted do not flinch at adversity. They do not ask, "Will I be provided for?" They do not wonder, "Will I make it through?" for they already know. They know that the one who created them has already gone before them. They know that the provision is already made. The answer is already given. The path is already prepared. They do not need to see it to believe it, for belief itself is the seeing. They do not ask for signs, for faith itself is the greatest sign. The world will tell you that you must struggle, that you must worry, that you must constantly chase after the things you desire. But the one who is deeply rooted does not chase, he attracts. He understands that all things are drawn to him in divine order, that what is meant for him cannot be lost, that what he seeks is already his. The tree planted by the waters does not run after the rain. It knows the rain will come in its season. It does not strive to pull water from the earth. It simply allows its roots to absorb all that is needed. This is the way of the one who walks in faith. There is no desperation, no grasping, no doubt. There is only trust, only certainty, only an unwavering knowing that all is well. You must train your mind to see beyond appearances. The deeply rooted do not react to what their physical eyes perceive. They respond from a place of inner vision. They do not allow the temporary conditions of the world to dictate their inner state. They remain firm, unmoved, unshaken. You may find yourself in a moment of trial, a season of difficulty, a time when the world tells you that you are lacking, but do not be deceived. The roots of the strongest trees grow deeper in the midst of the storm. The pressure does not destroy them, it strengthens them. The opposition does not break them, it causes them to rise. Every challenge you face is not a sign of your weakness, but a reminder of your strength. To be deeply rooted in God is to no longer be ruled by emotions that come and go. It is to no longer be at the mercy of fleeting thoughts. It is to take dominion over your mind, over your spirit, over your entire being. It is to say, I am not what the world says I am. I am not what my circumstances suggest. I am what God says I am. And what does God say? That you are chosen, that you are complete, that you are abundant, that you are victorious. If this is the truth, then there is no room for fear. If this is the truth, then there is no room for doubt. The deeply rooted are not moved by the opinions of others. They are not swayed by the noise of the world. Their foundation is in something far greater, far deeper, far more unshakable than human understanding. You must learn to trust the unseen. Faith is not believing only when things are clear. It is knowing even when nothing seems to be happening. The seed beneath the soil does not see the sun, but it knows it is there. It does not see the rain, but it knows it will come. And so it grows. It stretches, it strengthens. It pushes through the darkness, not because it sees the light, but because it trusts that the light is waiting for it. This is how you must live. Do not let what you see with your physical eyes discourage you. The delay is not a denial. The waiting is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is strengthening. It is deepening your roots so that when the time comes for you to rise, you will not be shaken. Many will fall away because their faith was shallow. They will trust when things are easy, but the moment the storm comes, they will wither. Their roots were not deep enough. They relied on what they could see, what they could touch, what they could understand. But the one who is deeply rooted knows that faith is beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond the limits of the human mind. It is an unshakable, unwavering knowing that no matter what comes, no matter what goes, no matter what changes, God remains the same. And if He remains the same, then your victory remains the same. Your peace remains the same. Your abundance remains the same. To be deeply rooted in God is to be so certain in His promises that nothing can make you question them. It is to know that you are not waiting for things to change, you are already changed. You are not waiting for blessings to come, you are already blessed. You are not waiting for an answer, you are the answer. When you walk in this truth, doors open before you. Not because you forced them open, but because you aligned yourself with the reality that they were never closed to begin with. The world may say you must strive, you must push, you must prove yourself. But the one who is deeply rooted knows that all is given freely, that grace is abundant, that provision is already made. There is a stillness in the deeply rooted, a peace that surpasses understanding, a confidence that cannot be shaken. They do not run to and fro, seeking validation, seeking approval, seeking certainty in external things. They carry certainty within them. They do not need the world to affirm their worth, for they already know they are worthy. They do not need signs and wonders to prove God's presence, for they live in the presence of God at all times. This is the state of being you must cultivate. A life of unwavering trust, a life of complete surrender, a life of knowing beyond all doubt that you are held, that you are guided, that you are deeply rooted in the eternal truth. Let the world be unstable, let the opinions of others change, let circumstances shift. None of it moves you, for your roots go deeper than the surface. Your foundation is stronger than the winds of change. Your life is not built on the uncertainty of the world, but on the certainty of divine truth. And when you stand in that truth, when you fully embrace it, you will see that nothing was ever missing, nothing was ever lacking, and nothing was ever against you. For in God all things are already yours. When we consider the idea of being deeply rooted in God, we must begin by understanding the power and necessity of being firmly grounded in Him. In a world that constantly changes, where external circumstances are unpredictable and fleeting, the one constant we can rely on is the foundation we build in God. Jeremiah 17 provides a profound reflection on this theme, offering insight into how we can remain anchored, unshaken, and steadfast even in the most challenging time. In Jeremiah 17:7-8, it says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes, its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit." This is a powerful image. The tree that is planted by the water represents a person whose faith and trust in God are unshakable. The roots of such a tree grow deep, drawing from a source that never runs dry, regardless of the circumstances around it. This is the essence of what it means to be deeply rooted in God, finding a secure place in Him that sustains and nourishes us no matter what life brings. Trusting in God is not just about believing in His existence or acknowledging His power. It goes deeper than that. It's about placing your whole being, your heart, your mind, your soul, into His care. The trust that Jeremiah speaks of is the kind of trust that lets go of control and hands over every concern, every fear, every desire, and every pain to God, knowing He is more than capable of handling it. To be deeply rooted in God is to surrender fully to His will. We see in the verse that the tree does not fear when heat comes or when there is drought. It does not shrink away from difficult seasons, but rather its roots grow deeper. When we trust in God, we develop this resilience. Challenges, hardships, and trials do not define us or break us, because we are drawing strength from an unshakable source. This relationship of trust with God is one that requires daily effort and commitment. Just as a tree doesn't stop growing its roots after one season, neither should we. Every day we must continue to cultivate our trust in God, allowing His word and His promises to take root deeper in our hearts. This involves spending time in prayer, meditating on Scripture, and reflecting on the countless times God has shown His faithfulness in our lives. We must remember that the deeper our roots go, the stronger our foundation becomes. Jeremiah 17:9 tells us the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? This verse highlights a crucial reality. Our own hearts are prone to wandering. Our natural tendency is to trust in ourselves, in our own understanding, and in the temporary things of this world. Our emotions, desires, and ambitions can easily pull us away from God's path. The world often tempts us to build our roots in things that are shallow, like material wealth, power, or fame. But these things will eventually fade. They cannot provide the lasting nourishment and stability that only God can offer. The key, therefore, is to surrender our hearts to God's control and allow His truth to reshape our inner lives. Being deeply rooted in God involves continuously renewing our minds and aligning our thoughts with His Word. This transformation is not always easy, and at times it requires the humility to admit when we've strayed from the path, and the courage to return to Him. God's promise is that those who trust in Him will flourish like the tree planted by the water. The tree's leaves are always green, symbolizing spiritual vitality and ongoing growth. Its fruit-bearing never ceases, signifying that when we remain rooted in God, we produce good fruit. Fruit that reflects His love, His kindness, His patience, and His peace. This is the outward evidence of an inward transformation. In times of trial, being deeply rooted in God provides us with the strength to stand firm. Just as the tree remains unaffected by the heat and drought, so too can we endure the seasons of life that seem harsh. It's during these moments that our roots are tested. If we are not deeply connected to the source, the heat of challenges will cause us to wither. But if we remain connected to God, our roots in Him will allow us to thrive even in difficult times. When we face the inevitable difficulties of life, we can hold on to the truth that God is our provider and sustainer. He has promised to meet our needs, to walk with us through trials, and to uphold us with His righteous right hand. His faithfulness is unwavering, and His love for us is constant. The key to being deeply rooted in God is to anchor ourselves in these promises and trust that He will never leave us or forsake us, no matter what comes our way. As we grow in our relationship with God, we also grow in our ability to discern His voice. Jeremiah 17:10 says, "I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve." God knows us intimately. He understands our hearts, our thoughts, and our motives. When we are rooted in God, we become more sensitive to His leading and more willing to follow His guidance. Our desire becomes to please Him, to reflect His character, and to walk in His will. A tree planted by the water does not struggle to grow. It simply receives what it needs to thrive. Likewise, when we are deeply rooted in God, we don't need to strive or force things to happen. God's presence in our lives is what enables us to grow and bear fruit. The more we lean into Him, the more His life flows through us. This is not something we can manufacture or achieve on our own. It's a work of God's grace. Our responsibility is to remain connected to the source and allow His Spirit to do the work in us. Being deeply rooted in God also means trusting in His timing. In seasons of waiting, it can be easy to become anxious or discouraged, especially when things are not moving as quickly as we would like. But God's timing is perfect. He knows exactly when we need to be pruned, when we need to grow, and when we need to bear fruit. Just as a tree goes through seasons of dormancy, so too do we. During these times, we must trust that God is at work in us, preparing us for what lies ahead. We may not always see the immediate results, but we can trust that God is cultivating something beautiful in our lives. Furthermore, being deeply rooted in God involves cultivating a heart of gratitude. The tree that is planted by the water is not only sustained by the water, but also thrives in its environment. When we recognize the goodness of God in all things, we begin to develop a heart that is grateful for His provision, His guidance, and His constant presence in our lives. Gratitude transforms our perspective and keeps us focused on the blessings that surround us, even in difficult circumstances. When we remain rooted in God, our lives become a testimony to His goodness. People around us will notice the peace we have, the strength we possess, and the fruit we bear. In a world that is often shaken and unstable, we become a beacon of light, pointing others to the unshakable foundation that is found in God. Our lives can serve as an example of what it means to trust in God, to find our identity in Him, and to be firmly rooted in His love. To be deeply rooted in God is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process. It requires intentionality, commitment, and perseverance. It requires the willingness to go deeper in our faith, to surrender more of ourselves to Him, and to trust Him with every area of our lives. But the reward is immeasurable, a life of peace, joy, strength, and fruitfulness. Like the tree planted by the water, we can endure the storms, grow in seasons of drought, and bear fruit that brings glory to God. As we take these steps, let us remember the words of Jeremiah 17:7-8. Blessed are those who trust in the Lord and whose confidence is in Him. We are called to be like that tree, rooted, strong, and steadfast. No matter what the world throws at us, we can remain unshaken, because we are rooted in God, and in Him we have everything we need to thrive. As we continue to reflect on the imagery presented in Jeremiah 17, it's essential to recognize that the tree planted by the water does not just endure, it thrives. The seasons of life may bring challenges, hardships, and trials, but when we are deeply rooted in God, we have the resilience and strength to not only survive, but to grow stronger through each test. The tree's roots dig deeper into the soil during drought, and similarly our faith in God deepens when we encounter difficulties. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen our trust in Him and grow in our spiritual walk. The deep roots of the tree symbolize a relationship with God that is not superficial or dependent on circumstances. Our relationship with Him should not be one that is contingent on our circumstances being favorable. When we are deeply rooted in God, our faith is unwavering, not because the situation is easy, but because we know the one who holds our future. Jeremiah reminds us that those who trust in the Lord are not shaken by external circumstances, because their confidence lies in the eternal, unchanging God. To deepen our roots in God, we must cultivate a constant awareness of His presence in our lives. It's easy to get distracted by the noise and busyness of the world, but when we keep our eyes fixed on God and continually invite Him into our lives, we begin to experience the peace and stability that come from being connected to Him. This awareness requires discipline. Just as a tree's roots grow deeper through seasons of growth and stretching, we too must stretch ourselves spiritually through regular prayer, worship, and meditation on His Word. These practices nourish our souls, drawing us closer to God and helping us grow in wisdom and understanding. When we are rooted in God, we also become more resilient to the effects of negative influences. The world will try to pull us away from our faith, just as storms and winds threaten to uproot a tree. But when our roots are firmly planted in the soil of God's Word and His promises, we have the strength to resist the temptation to drift away. External pressures may come, but our foundation remains secure. The storms of life may shake us, but they will never defeat us, because we stand firm on the unshakable ground of God's truth. The process of deepening our roots in God is not a quick or easy one, but it is a lifelong journey. Just as a tree does not instantly grow to its full height or strength, our spiritual growth is gradual and ongoing. There will be seasons of growth, but also seasons of pruning. In John 15, Jesus speaks of the vine and the branches, saying that God the gardener prunes the branches that bear fruit, so that they may bear even more fruit. Pruning is not easy, but it is necessary for growth. Sometimes God allows us to go through seasons of difficulty or challenge to prune away the things in our lives that are preventing us from growing fully in Him. These experiences refine our character and increase our dependence on God. A tree planted by the water also symbolizes consistency. A tree does not stop growing when the weather changes. It continues to send its roots deeper and its branches higher. In the same way, our spiritual lives must remain consistent, even when we face challenges. We should not allow our commitment to God to waver. Just as a tree grows steadily over time, so too must our walk with God deepen and mature steadily. We should not only grow in seasons of abundance, but also in times of difficulty, knowing that our roots are being strengthened and our faith is being tested. The consistency of the tree is also a reminder that we must remain connected to our source of strength, God. The tree does not get its nourishment from the air or the leaves. It gets it from the roots that are planted in the ground, where they draw water and nutrients. Similarly, we must remain deeply connected to God through our relationship with Him. The moment we disconnect from God, we begin to wither, just as a tree that is uprooted will begin to die. But as we stay connected to the source, we receive everything we need for spiritual health and vitality. In times of drought or difficulty, the tree does not wither, and neither should we when we face life's challenges. God's faithfulness to us is constant, and when we are deeply rooted in Him, we can stand firm, knowing that He will provide what we need. Even when it feels like nothing is happening or the answers are not coming, we can trust that God is at work behind the scenes. Just as a tree's roots continue to grow and spread even when it appears to be dormant, so too is God working in our lives even when we cannot see it. Our trust in Him during these times will help our roots grow deeper and our faith become stronger. The promise in Jeremiah 17:7-8 is clear. Those who trust in the Lord will flourish. Their lives will be marked by fruitfulness, peace, and stability, regardless of the external circumstances. A life deeply rooted in God will bear the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This fruit not only nourishes us, but also blesses those around us. Our lives become a reflection of God's goodness, and we are able to share His love and grace with others. Being deeply rooted in God also involves trusting Him with our future. Just as the tree does not worry about what will happen tomorrow, we too should place our trust in God's perfect plan for our lives. We don't need to fear the unknown or be anxious about the future, because we know that God holds our lives in His hands. He is the one who directs our paths, and He will lead us through every season of life. We must learn to rest in the assurance that God is in control and that His plans for us are good. As we continue to deepen our roots in God, we will experience the fullness of His love and peace. We will find strength in times of weakness, hope in times of despair, and joy in times of sorrow. The more we remain connected to God, the more we will experience the abundant life that Jesus promises. We will become like that tree, firmly rooted, deeply nourished, and continually growing. To be deeply rooted in God is a lifelong pursuit. It requires intentionality, perseverance, and a willingness to trust God even when we don't understand. But the reward is worth it. Our lives will be marked by peace, joy, and fruitfulness. We will become a living testimony of God's faithfulness, and our roots will grow deeper with each passing season. May we continue to seek God with all our hearts, remain firmly planted in His love, and trust that He will lead us through every season of life, sustaining us and helping us to thrive in His presence. As we look at the profound message of being deeply rooted in God, it's important to understand that our spiritual foundation is what sustains us, particularly when life becomes turbulent. The nature of storms and difficulties is that they come suddenly, sometimes without warning, and sometimes they stretch on longer than we anticipated. Just like the tree planted by the water, we are not immune to life's trials. But when we are grounded in God, our ability to weather these storms becomes unwavering. This steadfastness comes from a deep sense of trust in His sovereignty. We may not always understand why things happen the way they do, but we know that God's ways are higher than ours, and His wisdom surpasses our own. There are moments in life when we may feel overwhelmed by circumstances, but when we are rooted in God, we experience a peace that transcends understanding. It's the kind of peace that doesn't make sense from a human perspective, because it comes from knowing that no matter what happens, God is in control. A tree doesn't fight the storm, it simply stands firm, rooted in the soil with an unshakable connection to its source of life. Similarly, we must learn to stand firm in the face of adversity, knowing that we are deeply connected to God, our source, and nothing can ultimately uproot us from His love and care. One of the greatest benefits of being deeply rooted in God is the fruit we produce in our lives. A tree, as it grows, produces fruit for others to enjoy. Similarly, when we are firmly grounded in God's Word and in His presence, we not only find ourselves nourished, but we also become a source of nourishment to those around us. Our lives become a witness to the goodness and faithfulness of God. When we experience His peace, joy, and love, it overflows into the lives of others. Those around us begin to notice something different: our calmness in chaos, our joy in the midst of sorrow, our hope when the world seems hopeless. And in this we bear fruit for God's kingdom. The roots of the tree also represent our ability to grow in strength and character over time. Strength does not come overnight. It is built gradually, through challenges and triumphs, and through the consistent trust we place in God. Each time we face a difficulty, it's an opportunity for growth. Each challenge is an invitation to go deeper in our trust and dependence on God. As we lean on Him and press into His promises, we find ourselves becoming more resilient, more compassionate, and more patient. In essence, we grow stronger as we allow God to mold us in His image. But how do we ensure that our roots continue to deepen and that we are consistently nourished by God? It requires intentionality. A tree doesn't just grow on its own, it needs the right conditions. Similarly, we must create the right environment for our spiritual growth. Spending time in God's Word, meditating on His promises, and remaining in constant communication with Him through prayer are essential practices for deepening our roots. Just as a tree's roots spread out in search of water, we must seek God relentlessly, desiring to be more deeply rooted in His love and truth. It's not a one-time act, but a daily decision to commit ourselves to Him and trust in His guidance. In addition to personal discipline, we must also remember the importance of community. Trees don't grow in isolation. Often a grove of trees provides mutual support as their roots intertwine beneath the surface. Similarly, as Christians, we are not meant to walk this journey alone. Our spiritual growth is nurtured in community, where we encourage one another, bear each other's burdens, and pray for one another. When we are part of a community of believers, we draw strength from one another, and our roots grow even deeper in the shared experience of God's love and grace. When we are deeply rooted in God, we begin to understand that the purpose of our lives is not simply about surviving or enduring, but about flourishing. God desires for us to live abundant lives, full of His love, His peace, and His joy. He doesn't promise that life will be easy, but He does promise that we can bear fruit no matter the season. Whether we are in a season of abundance or a season of drought, we have access to the living water that sustains us. As we remain rooted in Him, we are able to bear fruit that will last, fruit that will impact others and bring glory to God's name. Furthermore, the idea of being deeply rooted in God speaks to the deep transformation that takes place in our lives when we allow Him to take control. A tree doesn't change its nature, it simply grows according to the conditions around it. In the same way, when we align ourselves with God's will, we begin to reflect His nature more and more. The more we surrender to Him, the more He shapes us to reflect His love, patience, kindness, and strength. Our roots become the foundation for His work in our lives, and through us the world will see His transformative power. One of the most beautiful aspects of a tree planted by water is its consistency. Seasons may change, but the tree remains faithful to its purpose. Similarly, when we are rooted in God, we are not swayed by the changing circumstances of life. We stand firm because our confidence is not in our circumstances, but in the eternal God who never changes. Just as the tree bears fruit in every season, so too will our lives produce fruit in every season. No matter what we face, we can be confident that we will bear good fruit, because we are rooted in the One who is faithful to nourish us. The tree's ability to thrive despite drought or storm is a testament to the power of resilience and trust in God. It teaches us that even when life feels hard, when the storms of doubt and fear threaten to overwhelm us, we can still stand strong. Our roots, planted firmly in God's love and truth, are our foundation. We don't have to fear what's coming next, because we know that God is with us. He is our source of strength, and when we are rooted in Him, nothing can take us down. In the same way, the tree planted by the water doesn't rely on its own strength to survive. It depends on the source of life it's connected to. Similarly, we must continually depend on God for our strength, wisdom, and provision. We don't have to rely on our own understanding or strength. When we allow ourselves to be completely dependent on Him, we allow His power to work in us, transforming us into vessels of His love and grace. And just as the tree draws its life from the water, we draw our life from God, the living water, who never runs dry. So as we reflect on Jeremiah 17, let us commit to being deeply rooted in God. Let us allow His word to nourish us, His presence to strengthen us, and His love to transform us. When we do, we will stand firm in every season, bearing fruit that blesses others, and living the abundant life He promises. In every trial, in every joy, in every moment, let us remember that we are firmly rooted in the one who holds us, sustains us, and will never let us go. When we truly understand the depth of being rooted in God, we come to realize that it's not about striving or achieving for our own glory, but about surrendering to His will. In the same way that a tree's roots don't have to struggle to stay in the soil, we don't have to work tirelessly to make our lives fruitful when we are deeply connected to God. The work, the effort, the struggle we may face is not our own, but rather the expression of God's work within us. Our only task is to remain rooted, to abide in Him, to trust that He is doing the work, and to rely on His strength. This is where peace enters our hearts. When we stop trying to control everything, when we cease striving and simply trust that God is in control, we begin to experience His peace that surpasses understanding. Just as a tree in the forest doesn't concern itself with the changing seasons, we too are not meant to be consumed with anxiety over what the future holds. God's plans for us are greater than anything we could imagine. And as long as we remain rooted in Him, we can walk with confidence, knowing that He will guide us every step of the way. The beauty of being deeply rooted in God is that it also means we are in communion with Him. Just as a tree's roots intertwine with the soil, connecting it to water and nutrients, we are meant to be connected to God through prayer, worship, and His Word. It's in this connection that we find our sustenance. We draw from Him all that we need, our strength, our hope, our wisdom, our joy. When we disconnect from Him, when we stop seeking His presence, we begin to dry up. But when we remain in Him, we are like that tree planted by water, constantly refreshed, constantly nourished, constantly growing. Our roots are not just for our survival, but for our thriving. The deeper we go into God, the more we grow in our faith. Just as a tree's roots go deep into the earth, finding the necessary nutrients to produce healthy fruit, we too must go deep into God's Word and into prayer to sustain our spiritual growth. The more we dig into His promises, the more we are nourished. The more we meditate on His truths, the more our hearts are transformed. This deep connection allows us to bear fruit, not just in the good seasons of life, but in the difficult ones as well. In moments of struggle, we may be tempted to question whether we are truly rooted. The storms of life may come, and we may wonder if we have the strength to withstand them. But that's when our roots in God are most important. They are not just there for the sunny days. They are meant to anchor us during the storms. When the winds of doubt blow and the rains of fear pour, our roots are what keep us grounded. They remind us that no matter what happens, God is with us. The strength to stand firm does not come from our own power, but from the one who sustains us. Being rooted in God also means that we begin to understand that our lives are part of something much larger than ourselves. Just as a tree in a forest is part of a greater ecosystem, so too are we part of God's divine plan. When we are rooted in Him, we not only benefit ourselves, but also those around us. Our lives, when firmly planted in His love, become a source of blessing to others. People will see the fruit of our lives, our kindness, our patience, our joy, our peace, and they will be drawn to the source of that fruit, which is God. We are living testimonies of His goodness, and our deep roots in Him make us conduits of His blessings. This is the beauty of being rooted in God. It's not a solitary endeavor. Just as trees are often part of a forest, we are part of the body of Christ. We were not meant to grow alone, but to grow together. Our roots connect with the roots of others in the body, strengthening one another, supporting one another, and growing together in Christ. It's through our unity in Him that we see the fullness of His purpose for our lives. As we draw from His strength, we are able to encourage and uplift each other, creating a community that reflects His love and His power. Being deeply rooted in God means we are also anchored in hope. The world may seem uncertain and circumstances may shift, but the hope we have in God is unshakable. When our roots are deep in Him, our hope is secure because our confidence is not in the fleeting things of this world, but in the eternal promises of God. His word is true and His faithfulness endures forever. Our roots in Him anchor us in that hope, keeping us steady no matter what challenges come our way. There is also a beautiful truth in the fact that the deeper a tree's roots grow, the taller and more expansive it can grow above the surface. Similarly, the deeper our roots go in God, the more we grow in His likeness. The more we know Him, the more His love and grace will overflow in our lives. We begin to bear more fruit, and we become a reflection of His glory. Our lives become a living testimony of His goodness, and the world around us is blessed as a result. One thing that stands out when considering the depth of being rooted in God is that the process is ongoing. Just as a tree continually grows and spreads its roots, so too must we continue to deepen our relationship with God. It's not a one-time act, but a daily choice to remain in Him, to abide in His presence, and to trust in His leading. The deeper we go, the more we discover about His love, His grace, and His power. There is always more to learn, more to experience, more to understand, and the deeper we go, the more we become like Him. Being deeply rooted in God is a life-changing journey. It transforms us from the inside out, making us more resilient, more peaceful, more loving, and more like Christ. As we allow our roots to go deeper into Him, we begin to experience the abundant life He promises. We become the trees planted by water, unshaken by the storms, flourishing in every season, and producing fruit that blesses not only ourselves but those around us. As we continue to cultivate our roots in God, we can trust that He is always with us. He is our constant source of nourishment, and in Him we lack nothing. His word is the water that nourishes us, His Spirit is the wind that strengthens us, and His love is the soil in which we grow. No matter what comes our way, we are deeply rooted in Him, and that is enough. It is through this deep connection with God that we can truly live a life of purpose, peace, and fruitfulness, fulfilling the calling He has placed on our lives. Being deeply rooted in God is not a passive state, but an active, ongoing process of trust, surrender, and connection. Just as a tree's roots anchor it firmly to the earth, our faith in God grounds us, providing us with the strength and resilience needed to withstand the storms of life. When we root ourselves in His word, His love, and His presence, we tap into an unshakable foundation that nourishes and sustains us through every season. The deeper we go into God, the more we grow, not only in strength and faith, but also in love and service to others. Our lives become a living testimony of His goodness, and our deep connection to Him transforms us into vessels of His blessings. We are not meant to thrive alone. We are called to grow together, supporting and encouraging one another as part of the body of Christ. As we continue to allow our roots to deepen in Him, we are reminded that God's plans for us are greater than anything we could imagine. He is always with us, providing what we need, guiding us through every challenge, and filling us with His peace. When we remain rooted in Him, we will bear lasting fruit, and our lives will reflect His glory to the world. Let us commit each day to plant ourselves deeper in His love, to trust in His provision, and to rely on His strength. For it is in being deeply rooted in God that we will truly flourish, bearing fruit that blesses not just ourselves but those around us, and fulfilling the divine purpose He has set before us.